man.
You know what I mean?
Off the cuff worldwide, baby.
All right, yeah. So we back.
There can never be a malfunction on Essie's voice about malfunction, you know?
We back.
Shout out to everyone hearing the squeaky door in the background. People message me like, fam, that door needs WD-40. It's not us, man. Blame the studio, man. The iconic door. You
can always tell when someone's walking in or walking out, man. Bruv. It's just one of them ones.
Or Donnie try to interrupt your session. Oh, I'm in next. Big man. You have to wait around the corner. That's what finish, you know?
We ain't finished.
But if you listen to the first half of this, you know, let's have a nice little sit down with the ladies from the Receipts podcast. Shouts out to them for joining us.
Mm.
But in good old fashioned off the cuff style, we are back.
Yes, man.
Hashtag off the cuff pod. You know the vibes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Mm-hmm.
The voice you're listening to is Fols Forever.
And Mr. Van's in the building.
And almighty Sosa, cameraman Sosa, is around somewhere. He'll be joining us.
Off the cuff worldwide, baby.
Shortly. And Essie's local as always.
Yes.
What do we want to get into though, Vans? I know last week we were saying that, I said to the lads, like, I'd appreciate if everyone kind of, you know, did their homework. Watch an important documentary or something that I feel is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know that you're super passionate about this one.
It's just right up my street. You know, history's always my favourite subject.
Yeah,
growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I love black shit.
Yeah.
And I've watched so many interviews.
Yeah.
Smaller documentaries, stuff that wasn't maybe as big or on a platform as big as this.
Do you know what? Yeah, like obviously, Malcolm X is a huge figure.
Of course, an icon.
Do you know what I'm saying? An icon. And I didn't necessarily like super look into his death or how he passed.
Right.
Like obviously, you know what you've been told and various different conspiracies that came up, but I haven't looked into it in depth. And you saw Malcolm X depicted in loads of things in movies. He even had like cameos in stuff like movies like Ali and stuff like that. So, you know, and obviously the famous Denzel movie, Malcolm X, which I feel like he should have got some sort of award for that because...
Bro, we'll give him an award right now. Run it. I'll make my own award.
It was a long movie, but I felt like, yes, I got to understand the importance of him just from watching that movie.
Yeah.
So obviously now what we're referring to is the Netflix...
Yeah. Who killed Malcolm X?
Documentary from a random... It's a random Donnie in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. What's the... I need to find it. I'll try and find the guy's name. That he's so passionate, like...
Super passionate. Yeah, let me actually try and find it now, man, because, you know, we got to give man some credit for actually
he is
really...
dogged, like fearless. No, like, he's not tired. If anyone's seen this documentary on Netflix, you know about the gentleman I'm referring to who's, like, the journalist behind it, doing the interviews, chasing people up, trying to find out.
So, activist Abdul Rahman Mohammed begins his own investigation into the perplexing details surrounding the assassination of civil rights leader Malcolm X.
Yeah.
So Abdul Rahman Mohammed.
It'd be good to get Sosa's perspective on this as well, because
did you watch?
No,
you're no, it don't matter. But he's a man of faith as well. So you know, I paid for his first fucking tattoo, and it's a scripture from the Quran on his arm.
Okay.
So even if you didn't watch it, chime in, innit?
Yeah.
Chime in.
Flexing on my man, yeah.
No, he's got a pay for mine as well.
Quick little stunt, yeah.
That one a stunt. That's my brother.
I was like, I paid for that shit, nigga. I did that shit.
I'm Muslim too.
Oh, you a Muslim?
You Muslim now? In the words of Tupac, Hennessy, memories.
I'm a memory.
When I ride, homicide. But we're saying before you come in, Vans is like, he knows I'm super passionate about this subject, this talking point.
Yeah.
Who Killed Malcolm X?
Yeah.
6-part documentary series on Netflix.
Oh, 6 parts?
6 parts.
Yes. I thought it was 5.
An hour?
Then 45 minutes, I'd say, each.
There's 1 or 2 that might be a little bit longer. It was just so sad to watch because since his death and obviously Martin Luther King Jr.'s death as well, I don't feel we've had a leader in the black community. Not saying we need one, but I just think it's important to recognise that those 2 men were killed off.
Yeah.
And never had a leader since. Yeah, you got bare tabs open. And you know, when you look at someone like, I view him as pure.
Yeah.
Not saying he's blameless and would have his faults, but like, there's a certain almost innocence. And people should hopefully get what I'm referring to when we get a little bit further along in conversation. So I've watched certain YouTube clips, I've read certain things, and my belief has always been that he was killed by the man, as DJ Khaled would say, they.
Yeah.
FBI,
Yeah.
CII, whatever
Yeah.
them man there. The higher ups got my man off because he was too much of a threat because of how powerful his voice was becoming. You now watch his documentary and it sprinkles some doubt when you watch the documentary. So it kind of does the backstory of him before he joins the Nation of Islam and the teachers, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who's the figurehead, the guy behind the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
And he took Malcolm in. Malcolm, before joining the Nation of Islam, was someone that was a criminal, would say like underclass society. And there is something to be said. It's funny, or not even funny, it's like you can see the parallels and the links, for me anyway, when you watch the documentary and you kind of look at the history of the nation. They did a very good job of bringing in the undesirables. And you look at like our jail system now in the UK, their man go to prison and become what? Muslim.
Yeah.
And is there a parallel there? I don't know, but it doesn't surprise me that that was a method they used to grow their movement. Because a lot of young men were criminals. You're going to clean them up, and from the outside looking in, it's like, yo, you're doing a good job because you're turning these guys' life around, innit? So Donnie became really close to his leader, his confidant, someone he would have idolized. He's in the movement. I'm sure a lot of people know the story. And somewhere along within the movement, there's some bumps in the road. Because Donnie's now the young firebrand. His lyrics are popping a bit more.
Yeah.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a bit older. Shoulders a bit slumped.
Way older.
Ain't as drippy.
Yeah.
Ain't as swaggy with the bars.
There's going to be someone that stands out, basically.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like within every crew, there's that one person that reaches out to the people. So, like, how I saw Malcolm is that he spoke with, like, supreme conviction. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with what he was saying, it was, like, what the people needed. Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, cool. We need something to believe in, and he is the person that is delivering the message in the way that we want it delivered. You know, like where you can have like the rapper that has all the super lyrics and stuff, yeah.
Lyrical, spiritual,
miracles, physical, miracle.
But no conviction in the bars.
But there's no delivery, no conviction in the bars.
You don't believe you, how can I believe you?
But imagine like having the bars and the delivery. So obviously, naturally, people are just going to draw to what you're saying, and you have no fear up on that stage, podium, whatever he was on. Speaking.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that people loyalty is a mad thing, because when you're loyal to someone and you can see that someone else is jeopardizing the position of the person that you're loyal to, it breeds envy, jealousy, hate.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where, from the documentary, what I gathered is what then turned into a downward spiral to where things started to go wrong. You know, and I think like from the first episode of the documentary, you pretty much got it straight away. He was here.
Yeah.
Speaking on a Sunday. And then next thing you know, gunshots, sawn off, 45. I'm seeing these kind of guns like, yo, these guys were really out to get him. Because like, if you want to harm someone, you don't bring a sawn off.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're really trying to do damage if you do that. Like, really trying to do damage.
At point blank range?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to finish him.
But as things go on, you're starting to like really, they start to unpack, like, number one, there was no securities, no pat down at the door and blah, blah, blah. This is like someone that was a threat he was declared a threat by the to the FBI. Wasn't it? Didn't he have his house petrol bombed like a week prior?
Petrol bombed a week prior. It was just such a shame to see like the lack of support and security around him. Someone of that ilk, someone that high profile,
that stature.
But obviously at the time, let's give a bit of backstory. He wasn't within the nation anymore. So,
there
was a big fallout. I'm sure the people listening to us already read the story with him and the Honourable Elijah Muhammad, who was the figurehead. Donnie was out here fucking. He was just fucking all the young secretaries. And got loaded and pregnant. Now a lot of people didn't know this.
X, yeah.
Who? Not Malcolm X. Elijah Muhammad. The figurehead of the Nation of Islam and the massive movement. Malcolm, being a pure individual he is, he outed him.
In a mad way.
In a mad way.
Mad way.
He'd been told not to. But he wanted to deal with it internally. Now, how do you feel? Like, you know, movements are important, innit? And sometimes the messaging, the power behind this movement is so important that we can't afford to have scandal. Even though I believe Donnie was wrong, even though he's mad because you want a man just to be a man and that, but in that scenario there as a religious figure, that's a bit mad. Should he have kept his mouth shut?
Mate, it's a bit of a difficult one because in that time, like, it was them against us. So
it's an eye for an eye situation. Yeah, 100%.
So if you're like, he's going there with full belief, like, we have to stick solid. We don't bend.
Scripture.
Yeah, we don't bend. We don't fold in it. So any little thing that's going to actually change that movement, that's when you become the op. In his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, we need to fix this or you need to get removed because we've got a bigger thing out there that we need to face at the moment. And this thing that we have inside us, this disease or whatever you want to call it, has to get removed real quick. If that means I have to come out the hierarchy to do that, then so be it. Because
he's showing that even despite him being this figurehead, you're not above reproach, above correction.
You can't, because you have to think about his things going through Nation of Islam. So everything is not just one man. It's not just one thing. It's
you're not God, innit?
Yeah, you're not. This is a bigger thing. Yeah, bigger than all of us right now.
Of course, yeah.
Do you understand? Like this fight that they were going through, it wasn't going to be done tomorrow, the next day. It was going to, whenever it is, it was going to get done in it.
Yeah.
So he's not figuring it like that. He's thinking, look, we got a bigger picture, and this has to get sorted out now. Yeah. And whatever happens, you guys will forgive me, or know later in life that I did the right thing in it. That's what he saw in it, because he went there pure-hearted, not knowing that obviously this is new news to me now. Yeah. That my man was doing bits, but then knowing in Islam,
I mean, am I correct in saying that in the religious book you are allowed to have more than one wife?
Many wives. Yeah. Many wives.
Is there an asterisk there as long as you can afford to look after them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So knowing that, just hearing that, I'm thinking, all right, cool. That's not new. But for someone like Malcolm, which he was up and coming, I believe, that's getting into the movement hard, strong. That's probably
so he was probably like on fire for God early. So he's still very like respectful, militant.
Militant. He's militant.
So what?
Which I don't blame him.
What, you actually cheating on your wife for fucking these young women?
There you go. So he's now young.
I don't know if they were underage, but they were young because they always describe them as young secretaries.
It wasn't even a thing of like them being underage. It was just the fact of like the age gap was mad.
Yeah, he was a big man. He was a big man. He's a big man.
You know what I'm saying?
Honourable Elijah Muhammad was a big man.
Like frail at a point.
Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying? Like,
so he's in his head thinking that this can't run,
and that's where a lot of the discord started as well, because they delve into, and I don't know if there's people that are followers of the nation, NOI, FOI might dispute that at the time Elijah Muhammad and his family were running the nation as a business. So, like with a lot of religious movements, churches, etc., you will have tithes, offerings, giving, donations, whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of that money was used to start businesses.
Yeah.
And they were making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And as you're making a lot of money, and my dad is the figurehead, all the people behind him, we can't afford to have this young militant guy who is following the book by the law.
Yeah.
word for word by the letter.
Because
Seem
they're avoiding
extremely
paying
pure.
Taxes.
They're avoiding paying. They, at the time, I don't know what
Well,
it's like now.
you don't pay that.
You don't
tax.
pay taxes
You don't
when
pay
you're
them
religious
taxes,
organisation. So
religion,
they were eating everything.
Yeah.
Eating.
They're treating it as their own. It's their cash cow,
It's like-
essentially.
it
Isn't
is.
it? And we can't afford to have this young guy come in and ruffle feathers and essentially take food off our plate.
But that's where they kind of, obviously this is one new news to me, but that's where they kind of probably got, they loved that he was like that from what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
But they should have taught
To
him
a certain
both.
degree.
Yeah, they should have taught.
To a certain degree, like you can be who you are to a certain degree. Don't overstep the mark.
But we can't
Because
mold
there's-
you and turn you into this firebrand, this beast. There will be a time that beast is now uncontrollable.
Yeah,
And that
because-
beast can bark back, and he did. You know?
because there was moments in the documentary where, like, you know, you had like people like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's son was like, I don't like Malcolm. It looks like he thrives off of the publicity, the attention. He likes it. He wants to be centerfold. Like, he wants to be the main man. I don't like him. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so from when that's already there to then him being the person that he's becoming in that process, it's like, brother. And then the whole like comments that he made towards the assassination of JF Kennedy, that's where it just went.
But left.
Yeah, because because it is a lot of movements. They thrive on control.
Yeah.
You, one nation under God. You fall in line. So they told Donnie not to say something. He said something.
Yeah.
So the way I looked at it with the documentary, they were building a case that the long-held belief that I've had may not be so. That maybe it was the nation that killed him. So you're building this mood of almost jealousy, distrust. We can't control him. He doesn't listen. He leaves the nation now. He's bringing negative attention and press towards us by revealing some improper behavior by our leader. Is it far-fetched that then they were the ones behind this killing? You know, so the documentary moves into different swings and roundabouts, and then we get to like the major talking point of why we have the documentary when he's in Autobahn Ballroom and he's given that famous speech, and then three gentlemen, which they claim were, or two,
At the Autobahn.
at the Autobahn. Is two got arrested on the day, innit? Not bugging.
I think it was free, you know.
No, but on the day, at the scene.
Oh, right.
Because you know the famous video of when they're grappling with Donnie.
Yeah.
Basically, after the shooting, there's one Donnie outside, which like the public are about to beat to a pulp, but the police managed to like get him free from them and arrest
So I think
him.
he was one of the actual
People in the room.
people that was involved.
Yeah,
And then the other two were the ones that were wrongly convicted.
yeah.
Okay.
So, and I've
Donnie
seen
spent like 20 years
Yeah.
inside, and like
Was it him?
It wasn't him, and like that subsequently led to him no longer having a relationship with his kids, his grandkids, and stuff like that. It
You
just
don't,
totally
imagine going to jail
affected
being known as the guy that killed Malcolm X.
X.
That ain't an easy jail sentence to ride, bro.
It's not.
With
Man will fish you up on the wing, bro.
most of Islam in the jails with him.
Bro, fish you up on the wing.
That's suicide basically.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
voluntary bang up. Put me on you know where they just by yourself. Yeah. 23 and 1. I'm alright.
Isolation
Yeah, isolation, yeah.
In
Whatever
the
you call it.
box.
in the box.
Yeah.
Isolate.
Solitary confinement, man.
Yeah. That's a bit.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, it's not even a standard bird. That's
Yeah.
a mad bird to ride.
Yeah.
With a figurehead like Malcolm X as well, like we're still talking about this guy to this day.
Yeah, because like, as much as like the portrayal of the difference in certain places like Newark, New Jersey,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people that adored Malcolm X, but then there was also a lot of people that didn't like him as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was like, you're gonna get that divide in jail, innit?
Okay.
But the people that didn't like Malcolm X ain't gonna protect you for doing what you did.
Yeah.
But the people that loved him, they're gonna get at you, fam,
Yeah,
because they loved him.
Yeah, 100%. They see him as a strong leader. So what is so with this whole documentary? What is it? Like,
It was a search for so many unanswered questions.
so there's like a couple spin-offs of what
Basically trying to find. So there was 3 people convicted. The main guy that committed the crime and admits to doing it, he later says the other 2 guys convicted were not even anything. They weren't a part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They weren't even in the building.
And if I'm right, he would never give the actual names. And then eventually he gave the name. Am I right? Of the gentleman William Bradley.
And Shabazz.
Now changed name to Shabazz. And then obviously the journalist who's the main protagonist behind this documentary, we follow his journey trying to find this William Bradley gentleman. And at every corner, every masjid, every turn he goes to, people are like, no, leave it alone. I'm like, who is this guy? Is he protected?
I'm thinking,
Who is this boogeyman that everyone's saying do not? And it's an open secret that this guy in New Jersey.
Is he protected by the fruit of Islam? Like, is he protected by, the
higher ups?
The higher ups?
Because he's not hiding in plain sight. Donnie's got like a gym. He become like a youth activist, turn his life around, even though he served a sentence for like sexual assault, rape, whatever.
If you look at his crime sheet,
he's got a rap
crime
sheet.
sheet was mad.
Extensive.
Mad.
Is the word the kids
I
would
was
use.
like, bruv, this Donnie has, like, how is he walking free?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a backing.
Do you know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is that after the assassination of Malcolm X, he just walks away calmly.
Do you believe that is him in the video?
I don't know, bro.
Because the video we're talking about when they're arresting one guy, you can't see it clear as day, but they say that there is a guy that just seems to just walk out of shot.
It could be
that
like
is William Bradley.
That could be anyone.
It could be any bald black man.
Do you know what I'm saying? Of that, of the stature of the description that they're describing, it could have been anyone. But obviously, he's a Donnie that has. There's other historians that are like, this guy knows more about this entire case more than anyone.
He is the case.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh no, this Donnie.
He's dedicated. He's dedicated his entire life to finding this out, because he's like, right, I have such I've got so much admiration for Malcolm X. Why is this still unsolved? Why are people not asking enough questions? Why has it been left like this?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be like a global icon. Think about like how long it's been since he's been killed, right?
1965.
And yet
still nothing.
Like, because you can walk the streets of Jersey and you can see his face everywhere. There's schools named after him. But then when I'm asking questions, people are telling me to leave it alone. Why is that? If anything, that's going to spur me on even more. Do you know what I'm saying? If I've got that curious mind in my head, I'm going to want to find out questions. I've dedicated, like, there's certain people out in life that dedicate their lives to something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We had the girls from the receipts here earlier. They were talking about like admiring men that have a passion for something. Yeah. This Donnie had super passion for finding this thing out.
Almost to a fault.
And then what I got from the end of the documentary, I was like, all of this for no reason.
Is it no reason though?
He had a reason.
Yeah.
But as a consumer, I got more information than I knew before coming into the documentary.
But still in the same
But
position.
I wanted the conclusion.
Yeah.
I wanted what he wanted.
So we're still all guessing.
Do you know what I'm saying? I wanted what he wanted. He wanted to, like, he was this close.
Yeah.
He was this close.
Was it like a day late?
It was like a day late.
Yeah.
Even if he came on that day,
would he have got a chance to speak to Donnie?
because I don't think the Donnie just died suddenly. He must have been ill.
But sometimes you got to just laugh at it. That is the irony of life. I spend however long, 5, 10, 15 years chasing this truth.
Do you know what was funny to me?
And I get a day, I am 24 hours away from potentially finishing this whole thing. Donnie dies.
Do you know what was funny to me?
The guy, William Bradley, aka Al Mustafa Shabazz. Yeah,
that name is so great, fam.
And it's not a spoiler because he died in 2018.
Bro, that name is epic. Say it again.
Al Mustafa Shabazz.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Jesus Christ, he's guilty just for that name alone.
Don't do that.
But do you know what was funny to me?
What?
the guy that was trying to find the answers. At the end, it shows him like with his son, and his son's like out here rapping in a dashiki.
They say all of this is promo for his son's for his son's project and
I
that.
said 6 episodes just to promote your video.
Yeah,
Hey.
His son was like rapping super woke bars, like.
I got an
yeah,
X
you dig
effect.
So we got bare conclusions in this episode.
It's the annoying thing about the documentary. It still leaves it open to you. Like I've seen other theories that those guys are just the fool guys. That it was still the FBI, whatever. That the trajectory of the bullets were top down rather than bottom up. So Malcolm's on like a raised platform, like a pulpit. People are sat in the audience and they've been beneath him, and obviously the trajectory should be like that. So from the top and bottom up.
Yeah.
But apparently, they had done a sweep of the Autobahn Ballroom a week before, and they put things in place. Either it was like machinery which could fire guns, or actually people would fire them. And apparently, they fired them from like your row X or row Z, whatever, above him, and that's actually what killed him. I've heard that theory as well. Because how can even like, am I wrong in saying that they went to the Autobahn Ballroom and like the actual pulpit that got shot up is still there, or was still there up until like years later?
So they went years later, went down in the basement, and it was still there.
With bullet holes in it.
The bullet holes.
That's
was still-
evidence.
do you know what I'm saying?
They had a dance in the same venue that same night. They cleaned it up. They're like, yeah, fuck these blacks, we still gotta get our money, and had a dance in that same venue.
Yeah. So there was
It's a crime
there was
scene.
a shubs like later, after the fact that like they just literally swept everything to the side and went on that nothing had happened. And they were saying that when the ruckers had broken out, the police were very nonchalant, like trying to, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, it's organized. Yeah. That's my thoughts.
and I think in the final episode or the 5th episode, there was a discovery that Malcolm's right-hand man was working for the FBI.
And that's what that's what Belly's about, basically.
This is what I was literally gonna say.
That's-
Ain't this basically Belly?
Yeah, that's what Belly's about. That's all what Belly's about. Like the end of stuff, obviously, once DMX is now, they try to compromise him to infiltrate, and he has to change heart. He doesn't kill Don in the end, and yeah.
Giving him the mouth to mouth, like when he's taking his last
But this
breath.
this is a.
And they got onto him apparently because obviously Donnie is meant to be like their inside guy. Like, why are you giving Malcolm mouth to mouth when you're meant to be our guy? Like, it just made me feel so heartbroken for him because
He was like,
here you have for me a pure human being who believes in what he believes in and is fighting for the rights of his fellow black man and wants to uplift them. And he fell in love with something he thought was pure, and I still hope and feel like it was. But the people within it weren't who he thought they were. And he suffered as a consequence of that. Because one thing is to note also is you're taking on these, in brackets, in inverted commas, sorry, these undesirables, these criminals, these underclass. Some of these don't still got criminal elements.
No, 100%.
So when it's time to rise it, they can still rise it. And a lot of those man, same way you couldn't control Malcolm with regards to like how he communicated to the public through his sermons, his speeches and what he said. Some of these other guys, you couldn't control them. So is it safe to say that maybe it wasn't an inside job as such, like a direct command from the higher ups of the Nation of Islam? Maybe it wasn't the FBI, CIA, whatever. Maybe it just was lone wolves who took it upon themselves. Same way we look at Malcolm as maybe quite militant. They also were quite militant and were in love with their leader so much that you went against our guy, we have to discipline you. Because that's one, bro, do you know how sinister some of these guys are? Like Brother Muzone from The Wire. Ain't nothing worse than getting clapped with by a nigga in a bow tie. Bro, have you heard Louis Farrakhan speak? Yeah. So softly spoken, my brother.
Yeah. Some people will take that as a...
Exactly. I shoot you, I do... My brother. I know who I don't want no problems with. I don't want problems with brother. That's what I don't want problems with.
I can agree with that.
You know, so it starts making me think, and that's one. Then I think that's to the documentary's credit that I look at least 3 possible scenarios: direct order, uncontrollable lone wolves who act on their own, or what I've always believed prior to this. I still kind of believe that it was the higher ups, white supremacy. You've got inside guys in there. You're trying to do whatever you can do to keep this movement down because you don't want someone to try and uplift the black man. Like, at its core,
That's the last thing you want.
It did a great job, and its fruits are still here, even in the UK. You still see some of those guys out and about. You know, it did a job of uplifting the black man. And the only sad thing is when I'm now doing my research, I've seen sermons where Louis Farrakhan actually Donny almost like claims the body. He's like, what business of it is it yours? If he's a traitor, that's how we do with traitors. Like, I'm paraphrasing, that's what he literally said about Malcolm. So it makes you think, bruv, you lot did it then. Like, you're claiming it. Like, if we did that, that's how we deal with traitors. You lot don't complain. We don't complain when you try a man for like being a wicked, like leaking documents or treason, as you would call it in the olden days.
It's such a shame because like
we dealt with someone that went against us in house.
It's a shame because essentially you're fighting the same fight.
Yeah,
but that's what we meant to believe.
That's our downfall because when Donnies are eating and like you got like 6 million in property and like the message is kind of sullied. Man ain't motivated to come to the pulpit on a Sunday when man's like getting these racks.
It's true.
You know,
it's true, man. Like,
and your kids don't care about like
because you're thinking
the
about
religion.
The money. You're thinking about the money, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Don't get me wrong. I think them guys were fighting that same cause. But then they started seeing certain things that I feel, right, we're getting like this now.
Bro, listen to like...
Now. We're not changing that.
You're listening to Farrakhan in his rallies and stuff. Bruv. What's the difference?
Yeah, man.
To what my man was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes they don't like who's delivering the message. Because, despite the fact that, like, we are fighting the same fight, you're more crooked than I am, and I'm more straight than you are. Do you know what I'm saying? There's levels to this.
Oil and water can't mix, bro.
Yeah. No.
I tried. It doesn't mix.
No.
Man wants to live by the book. You want to do that, but at the same time, rob this England, didn't it?
Fully.
Man said rob this America.
Fully. I see the whole situation like the Narcos thing for me personally. Man. Like the government obviously always want to control it to a certain
When
level.
the government gets involved and there's money, what did J House tweet the other day? You can't take money from anyone, bruv, because money's a spirit.
Yeah.
Bro,
Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree. I don't disagree,
Yeah,
bruv.
so you guys can't take money from just anyone.
Bruv, man.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
It was just so hard, like, watching back.
I was
Like, they
just
interviewed his wife and children were in that room when they did that to him. And they interviewed his wife straight after. You know. They
she barely had a sentence to say.
clapped Donny in front of his family.
Because even after the FBI Donny, Malcolm's right-hand man, she was trying to give him mouth to mouth.
Yeah. You know. And you think about in that panic, that melee, probably ain't going through proper procedures. How long would it have taken for like
your kids looking
paramedics to come and see my man? Did they wait for ambulance? Did they have to take him himself?
Bro,
like,
there's pictures of you slain.
Yeah, like mouth open. Like, it's just
Mouth open. Wounds.
like heroes ain't meant to die like that. That's how I see it.
Not like that. Not like that at all.
Yeah, man.
Wow. From a documentary point of view, it was a good watch. I would implore
Was it good, Joe?
any of our listeners to go out and watch it.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to cover it just because I felt like it's an important talking point.
Yeah.
Give us your opinions. Who do you think killed Malcolm X? Do you think we've done a good job of our review?
Do you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It kept me engrossed for 6 parts.
Did it make you sad?
It did, man.
Yeah.
Because I hate to see like...
I couldn't stop watching it though.
Bro, there's so much oppression during these times. There's so much stuff that us as a people were going through, but then we had internal problems, which was the demise of what we were fighting for.
Yeah, man, they done dirty stuff.
We got to, bro, like we
almost got to the promised land,
bro. Like the guy became global.
Yeah,
that's why I tried to.
Because he went. I think is it called Hajj or Mecca? He went and
Mecca.
He started as he started to travel, become more enlightened, didn't it?
Yeah,
and like even he had like quite a harsh viewpoint. He used to be like history tell it. Him and Martin Luther King didn't get along.
Bro,
he used to call him a coon, Uncle Tom.
It was depicted in the documentary. It was shown.
Yeah,
they were two different people.
And he softened his like.
He went to Mecca and
to Donny.
And the thing is that because when you're in your environment, you only see who you see.
Yeah,
which is us, black faces. You go to Mecca and you realize, oh my gosh, there's so many different people from different walks of life in this one place, which symbolizes what we believe in. This is it. You can't have this viewpoint.
Yeah.
If you call yourself a religious man, you can't have that viewpoint. And I think him spending time traveling, do you know what I'm saying? It was an eye-opening experience for him. And it also showed his relationship with Muhammad Ali and who Muhammad Ali eventually sided with.
Yeah.
He didn't want to upset the Nation of Islam. That just goes to show you how powerful they were.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, it did make me sad. I was just like, ugh.
It's weird on one hand, and it sounds mad to me to say, I respect the gangster element of it, of how like hard line they can be.
Oh,
because
fruit of Islam,
you need order. You need order.
Bro, even like when they were discussing like, even like in small detail, the fruit of Islam, yeah,
which is like the security hand of the
how goonish that man could be.
Yeah,
I was just like, yeah,
about that.
It was like a faction, bro. Like, and they had different like types, and then you've got Elijah Muhammad. Like, he's created something with so many diehard followers, and everyone had the same story.
Jail.
He said, do not lay a finger on Malcolm. Everyone was saying it. Everyone that was for Elijah Muhammad was saying that, nah, it couldn't have been him because he said this. But how do we know that?
Yeah.
There's no transcript. There's no audio of that.
But they had different audio where like I don't know if he was one of his secretaries or people around his sons were saying different things about Malcolm. So the direct order from up top is do not touch him. But they're putting certain things out. I need to maybe go back and watch and get the actual terminology where they don't, like I said, they don't outrightly say, it'll be stuff like discipline or he's out of line, he's gone against us, you know, which then would, if you're a hardline follower, what? So that's an op then. What do you do to your ops? You're training me. That's also the danger. When you're positioned as our nation, our army, our people, eventually like soldiers want to go and mash works, you know. Man can't just be doing drills, doing good diet, reading the scripture and that, and not go out and mash work.
What did 2-Bit say on Power? Come on, man, you know I'm a soldier.
It's the truth, bro.
Nah, for real.
It's the truth, and like, especially like, bro, Malcolm was on violence. Do you know what I'm saying? His messages was like, fuck what they're doing down in Atlanta with Martin Luther King. We are on violence.
Yeah.
We are saying no. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't keep doing this to us. We're going to retaliate.
Yeah.
That's what he was on.
So
So obviously, like, when you've got a Donny like that, you're putting a battery in their backs. And then you've gone against me now. So the battery's already in there. I'm on you.
Yeah, that's mad.
Watch it, Sosa, man.
Yeah, I know. I tried to stay away from it because I know it's going to trigger me a little bit, but yeah.
I watched that quickly.
I'll watch it.
It just shows, that no matter how holy people can be, human beings just fucked.
Fam,
We're just fucked, bro.
We are the worst.
We're just fucked, bro. You know.
Even
Do you know what I'm saying? How the mind works, and like sometimes when you see things from your own lens of stuff that's happened, you're thinking, how did we let it get to this? Do you know what I'm saying? How did we let all these negative emotions consume us? Because that's what it does. It's consumed you to the point where you're doing a madness that will change everything. But at that precise moment, you're not thinking about that. You're not thinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, bruv.
Yeah, I watch it still. I have to watch it.
Rest in peace, Malcolm X.
Yeah, man. Still very much a hero of mine, and like he's. One thing I could say is I think his legacy lives on because of how many people, I believe, have turned to Islam because of him. You know?
Bro, like he really fought that fight.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it was, to me, for me, he wasn't set.
He was just getting started. Do you know the courage it takes to walk away from the movement, go solo? You're out here just for you and your family. You know,
People are threatening, like putting threats on your life, your family's life.
and that shows me how committed you are. Cause like, what greater thing can you give than your life for a cause? There's nothing can give as an equivalent.
This is my house. They were like, wait, we funded this house. This is our house.
Oh, that's
This
the
is
sad thing as well, yeah.
The house of the Nation of Islam.
Yeah.
You need to come out.
Yeah.
He's
But
like, wait a minute.
I think he was a little bit naive on that end though as well. It's like, you can't go against them and still be living in their property.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, right, I gave you 12 years. I brought it to this level.
But you know how
I
it is,
deserve
bro.
this.
Power, bro. You got to bow down and kiss the ring, bro. And that's what they tried to make him do.
That's what they said,
when
yeah.
he then wanted, because apparently he actually now, the way they positioned it, he saw the error of his ways. I wanted to come back and join the nation, but they're like, no, he needs to go out into the public and clean up that mess
Yeah,
that he
because
made.
he
innit?
tried to get back to tried to speak to Elijah Muhammad, but when he made that decision, you couldn't even get close to him anymore.
Yeah.
There were so many people that were standing in his way to even get to
You got to speak
Elijah
to the
Muhammad.
secretary.
You have to go through the fruit of Islam first before you get to the secretary.
Brother Muzone. Brother.
You know what I'm saying? Al Mustafa Shabazz
Fam, Donny's hiding in plain sight. William
with the,
Bradley, you know.
with the white beard.
Bro, about your legacy being you're the person that killed Malcolm X. You can't make it to heaven. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And he got the
Fam,
maddest
God
send-off.
forgives. I don't know if God forgives that one, bro.
Bro, and he got the maddest send-off.
Yeah, they gave
Horses and everything.
Yeah. Which makes me, I've got my suspicion about Donny. He's well connected, well respected, well protected.
Yeah,
protected,
bro, look how much work man put in.
He's protected.
That was a Donny that you would send to do works.
He's fam. It was a plan.
Go down
And they even sat down with. Relax, bro. They sat down with was it Corey? What's the guy's name? Was it a mayor or the senator for their state, whatever?
He was like, nope, I
Yeah, so
had
basically,
no idea.
like he
It's
was.
you knew.
They caught him in like
a little clip.
a clip of like a campaign promo thing, and the guy's in the background because he's like a community activist. They go to the figureheads, isn't it? And he's just in the back of a clip, like shaking someone's hand, isn't it? And they're like, well, this guy that was in your clip, did you know he's like, I knew him, but like he danced. I'm looking the way Donny's eyes shift. I'm like, you know who that is, you know who or what Donny's alleged to have done. Donny's not someone to play with, innit? You know. Donny did what he did allegedly and got to live a long, fruitful life and
A long life. Imagine like, man's like a big man in 1965, and in big 2018, you're still like.
man made it
out here.
2018.
They lived.
You know, but yeah, I don't want to dwell it too much, man, because it's making me sad again. But rest in peace to Malcolm X, an icon, a massive historical figure. And yeah, watch your documentary, man. Give us your thoughts, man.